carried out from 3:30 to 4 p.m. This is all about the FDP. I hope all of you enjoy this particular FDP and will actively participate through the FDP. Have you wishing you a great FDP session. Thank you. Over to you, Param sir.
Thank you, sir, for clearly explaining the vision and roadmap of this FDP. Your words have set the direction for a meaningful engagement over the coming week. Moving on, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of fire, said by W.B. Yeats. I now invite Head of the Department of Civil Engineering, Dr. R.S. Karde, to address the gathering. Dr. Karde has over 22 years of combined experience in academics, industry, and research. He's a planning committee member of PMRDA, that is Pune Metropolitan Regional Development Authority, for the Draft Development Plan 2021 to 41. Member of Board of Studies in Civil Engineering at Cummins College of Engineering for Women in Pune, actively involved in research, professional development, and academic governance, with a strong focus on water and wastewater treatment and applied engineering solution. Over to you, sir.
Morning, all of you. I once again welcome each and every participant here. So let us begin with, actually, they have been more helpful for us, or we can say we are very much pleased to see all in the offline mode. But because of many needs and nowadays, the constraints and yes, pandemic has taught us about how to stay connected online mode. These things taught us, and so now because of all these things, we are connected in online mode through these 5 days national level FDP. As far as the Department of Civil Engineering is concerned, we have a UG program in civil engineering. We also have PG program in construction management, and we have a PhD research center. In addition to the academic formalities, we have a dedicated laboratory wherein the students showcase their talents by with the practical exposure. Because day and nearby can see nice buildings and my own technology everywhere. So to bridge the gap between the academics and the market strategies, market technologies, thank you to our management, they have provided us this lab. We also have a concept laboratory, and in addition to that, laboratories. Concept laboratories showcase the various models for students, and through these, by looking through these models, students can very easily grasp the concepts. So this acts like a teaching aid, learning aid for students. Yes, I would like to talk about our faculty. Uh, in addition to the academics, academic role, academic responsibility, we are mainly student centric. We have a guardian faculty member who is assigned over the batch of 15 to 20 students. So the primary role of the guardian faculty member is also a teacher of the subject, is to help students to better understand the concepts. Weekly meetings are carried out with the students. A separate sections which are recorded so that authorities can monitor it. We can have discussion about what are the things which students demand and how well we can satisfy their demand. What are the issues students in this scenario, the Gen Z, are facing, and how well we can address these issues so that there will not be any, you can say, disturbance in their academics. Because nowadays students' mental health is equally important. Uh, Reading in the newspaper or many workshops are being conducted, interdisciplinary workshops, which are focusing about the students' mental health issues. the distractions and how well. So our faculty members here in the Department of Civil Engineering are engaged in such courses. As an example, I can put NPTEL is a good platform wherein various 4 weeks, 8 weeks courses are being conducted. So faculties are actively involved in these courses. But in addition to the technical courses, faculties are getting registered for such subjects like student psychology or counseling and mentoring of the students, or cognitive development, transformation of lives, like this, so that this will be a better helpful for the faculty member who is also a guardian member of the student to address the issues faced by the students. Okay, so in a nutshell, overall we are engaged overall development of the students. And coming back to this FDP, Faculty Development Program, uh, many FDPs till date have been carried out by various universities, institutes, regard focusing on the research. Some are of 1 day, some of 3 days. But what if
हो मी काय म्हणते मला हा सिलेबस पाठवतो का ग्राउंड वॉटर कंटॅमिनेशनचा हे एमईच आहे
Sanction झाली नसती नोटिफिकेशन
सर
7 दिवसाची.
I request everyone to please mute themselves.
this is a separate 5 days FDP, wherein the right from the beginning to the end, what is the flow of the research, how that can be carried out. Because number of times we come across through such research writings wherein the student or faculty takes extra efforts while writing, but ultimately the paper is rejected, or sometimes they may get reviews like it is beyond the scope, or some more experimentation or more extra depth is required. So we feel that instead of keeping a 1 day or day, let us keep it for 5 days and fragmentize into 10 different sections, wherein right from the first to 10 sessions, all the contents which are very important in paper writing, research writing, submission, funding, IPR, etc. will be covered. And we are very much thankful. We are pleased, still we are fortunate enough that all the 10 experts have given their consent to us, and now we are here with them to begin with these sessions. So in a short, I welcome once again all the participants and hope that this journey will truly enlighten the research demand and the research, what you can say, can even motivate the faculty members and the research students to go in depth. Thank you very much. Over to you, Gaurav.
Thank you, sir, for that comprehensive and inspiring overview of the department. Your address truly reflects the department's commitment to academic excellence and research-driven education. An institution is remembered not for its buildings, but for the values it nurtures and the minds it shapes. To conclude the inaugural addresses, I invite our respected principal, Dr. G.A. Hinge, sir, to address the session. Dr. Hinge has over 26 years of teaching experience and 2 years of industrial experience in civil engineering. He authored more than 70 research publications and the well-known book Fluid Mechanics. He is the recipient of the Outstanding Leader in Higher Education Award with 2 national patents in surveying. He actively promotes research culture, accreditation excellence, and faculty development initiative. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Parvez.
Yes, sir.
At the outset, I would like to welcome all the participants for this national level 5-day FDP with international participation. To begin with, I would like to give brief information about this organization. TSSM's Bhimrao Bai Sawant College of Engineering and Research was established in the year 2010 by the ex-cabinet minister, Dr. T.J. Sawant. This is the sister concern of JSPM Group of Institutes. The group was founded in the year 2000. As of now, we offer education from KG to PhD in various sectors like engineering, management, computer applications, pharmacy, and schools. As of now, we have 78 different institutes and more than 55,000 students are taking education in our institutes and 10,000 plus faculty members are there. Coming to the today's program, that is 5-day FDP on research writing. I would like to share you one small incident which happened today morning itself. I was taking my breakfast and I was listening to a research paper. Yes, I mean it. I was not reading the research paper. I was listening to a research paper. The title was Impact of AI on Interdisciplinary Research. So I went back 20 years down the line when I used to rush to IIT Bombay frequently to get some research papers, because in Pune, the facilities were very limited. Either we had to go to College of Engineering Pune library or CWPRS library, or otherwise the nearest IIT, that is IIT Bombay. We used to get the research papers xeroxed, and then after the study and all other things were going. But in past many years, after the intervention of AI, the things have changed radically. Now you get an opportunity to listen to a research paper. You can have a small movie of research paper or the research, you can say, journey. So things have changed definitely radically. Yes, we have to also incorporate some AI tools in our research. In the 5 days to go, we'll get an opportunity to interact with many experts in the field. Many of them are IITians and NITians. Even our today's inaugural or keynote speaker, Dr. Sanjay Poekar, is a renowned researcher. So of course, these are the right person to throw proper light on various aspects of research. But yes, AI is going to impact a lot on the research. But of course, we have to understand one thing, that like we have the scheme of JRF, Junior Research Fellow, to assist the main researcher. Similarly, various AI tools are going to assist the researchers. Of course, yet we have to see whether this journey of research, it will begin from AI and it may end up with AI driven discovery also. But yes, for that matter, we have to wait for certain time. For the time being, I congratulate Dr. R.S. Kale, Head of Department, Dr. Parvez and the whole organizing team for organizing such a beautiful FDP on this burning topic, that is AI and research. And of course, it will benefit all the participants. I once again welcome all the participants who have joined all across India, as well as I can see some of them are from outside India also. So huge response is obtained from the participants. So thank you for for inviting me and giving me an opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you and welcome, Dr. Poekar.
Thank you, sir. This time.
Over to Parvez.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating and encouraging address. Your words reinforce the importance of institutional support in nurturing researchers and educators. Knowledge is sacred, and wisdom is its highest expression. Let us begin this academic journey by seeking the blessings of the Almighty. For this auspicious invocation, I humbly invite Professor P.S. Parande to lead us in seeking the divine blessings. Over to you, ma'am.
Good morning. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all respected dignitaries, eminent resource persons, faculty members, and dear participants. Knowledge is the foundation of teaching, learning, and intellectual growth. As educators, we continuously strive to enrich our understanding and refine our skills. To begin this faculty development program on an auspicious and meaningful note, let us seek the divine blessings of Goddess Saraswati, the eternal source of wisdom, learning, and enlightenment. May Goddess Saraswati bless this FDP with meaningful learning, thoughtful discussions, and a spirit of lifelong learning. I kindly request everyone to please join your hands for Saraswati Vandana. I now request admin to present Saraswati Vandana.
या कुन्देन्दुतुषारहारधवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रावृता या वीणावरदण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युतशङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निःशेषजाड्यापहा.
Now I request Dr. Khurram Parvez to proceed with session.
Thank you, ma'am, for leading us in the sacred invocation. Take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. Said by Martin Luther King Jr. With this inspiring thought, we conclude the inaugural session. This one-week national-level online FDP now stands formally inaugurated. We look forward to a week of enriching academic interactions, knowledge sharing, and collaborative learning. Thank you, and wishing everyone a successful FDP ahead. Without any further delay, we shall now proceed to the first session of this one-week online national-level FDP. The first session is on the topic Foundations of Research and Detailed Literature Review, which lays the foundation for effective research thinking, problem formulation, and scholarly inquiry. For this session, we are privileged to have with us Dr. Sanjay Pohekar, who will be sharing the valuable insights with us. Dr. Pohekar is the professor and head research programs at Symbiosis Center for Research and Innovation, Symbiosis International University, Pune. Brings over 30 years of experience in academics, has more than 30 international journal publications with over 4,000 citations, guided multiple PhD scholars in energy engineering, heat transfer, and computational fluid dynamics. He also serves as a reviewer for reputed publishers. May I request all the participants to kindly remain connected as we are about to begin our first session. Dr. Pohekar, sir, you can start.
Yeah, good morning. I hope I am audible to everyone. Can I get a confirmation?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Yeah. So I'll be speaking and also just confirm whether my slide sets are visible.
Yes, sir, it is visible now.
So I have gone through. Thank you, Dr. Hinge sir, Dr. Irfan sir, and everyone for taking the initiative. And I have also noted that you are lined up good speakers. Your conceptualization of the entire FDP is phenomenal. However, maybe I have a little different perspective to begin with. There is a requirement that we should think about the fundamentals of research and way forward before we take up any other viewpoint. So let me just take one call in the meantime because there is a call from our higher authorities, Vice Chancellor sir. Just give me a minute.
Sure, sir, sure. I request all the participants to be patient, and the session will start in a short period.
Okay, sorry for the interruption. I hope the slide sets are visible now. Can I get a confirmation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have seen the lineup of the speakers. You have given me 1.5 hours, and I'll be basically giving you some opening remarks. It's very difficult to speak on literature review and everything unless we set the context perfectly. So I'll be speaking on the fundamentals of research and way forward. And this is little bit generic. It may not be for engineering faculty. It can be taken up by any research community per se. So I'll be touching base upon variety of topics which are required for a good researcher to begin its journey. It definitely covers certain things, how the research should be started per se. And once you start the research, then you can, once you are fundamentally clear, you can find out good topics, you can find out good journals, certain ethical issues, all other issues which are being taken up by subsequent speakers. I'm just giving opening remarks on that. So we can have a question answer sessions towards the end of the session. So keep your questions ready, and I'll be very happy if you can ask me many questions so that through discussions we can take it further in a very good spirit. So we are all working. Majority of the research happens in a scientific domain, and the science or scientific research is a key to take any country forward. Economics and other things follow. So scientific research plays a very key role in development of nation. And good roads, no, you are the civil engineering department has taken a lead. So good roads are essential. And good roads are, no, it is said that America is not great because roads are good. American roads are good because America is rich, but America is rich because of American roads are good. So we are, no, it is a tongue twister basically. So the economy is driven by the scientific research. Scientific research also improves the quality of human life. Imagine a situation that there was no vaccination. I think India and country which is very densely populated would have faced a different situation. A lot of deaths have happened. But not only in Indian environment, we have also saved some developing countries by providing vaccination at right time. And many of you may not be aware that no, the vaccine was not developed just within 3 4 months. It was the efforts of years together. And the AstraZeneca Foundation people were saying that no, this vaccine can be a remedy or can be a vaccine for such a diseases, uh, and then fast approvals are given. So scientific research can also improve the quality of human life. What is required in the scientific research or overall research is we need to be very sincere in doing the research, and we also need to be little dynamic in taking it forward because it has got many players involved, government agencies, and we have to also take a proactive role. So researchers have to think ahead of time. So this is a brief introduction about role of scientific research. We do research for many things. One of the very basic research which people have been doing is on the basic research. So if you look back, X-ray was developed long back. So it has contributed to the fundamental knowledge and theory. It can be the characteristics of basis research, which is given by the example of X-ray. The basic research is aimed at contribution to the fundamental knowledge and theory. Then it can be beneficial to the time and space. So it is immortal, I would say, and judge on its rigor, universality, and variability. So, howsoever good research you try to do, there is no substitute for basic or fundamental research. But you may have a different perspective here, that though we might have developed fundamentally many things, whether they are of practical use or not. Some examples I have quoted here: research used in businesses, education, medicine, etc. So, unless the research is applied to the human community or engineering community or society per se, it may not be seen as a benefit. So, understanding the nature of human and societal problem and use the research to solve the world's problems by certain thoughtful interventions. And it is also possible that a research which is applicable to one field may be applicable to some other fields. So application oriented research is known as applied research. So we need to predict the growth of businesses. We need to predict the material requirement. We need to predict the construction requirements in time to come. We need to predict the pollution which the particular intervention is going to bring in the country, or so on and so forth. There are many researches which are applied or business researches. So not only developing and making a breakthrough in any scientific discovery like X-ray is important, its applicability to variety of domains is also equally important. We also do many times environmental research or evaluation research. So if you look at the researchers, they also undertake this evaluation research very much. One of such examples of evaluation research is assessment of environment impact. So me being an energy engineer, we are involved in impact assessment of energy and energy usage on environment. Those who are civil engineer, they also assess the impact on the environment of different materials, this and that. So effectiveness of interventions and action is something which is very vital, and that is known as evaluation research. It can be in the form of a summative, or it can be in the form of a formative research. We also do action research. Now this action research is the best example of action research is effect of using Kindle on reading. So basically such a researches are aimed at solving the problems and results leading to immediate action. So it's not necessary that every research done by human beings, scientific community, engineering community is helpful to the, or is having only positive impact. It can have, it may require further improvement. So problem solving and result leading to immediate improvement is also vital, and that is known as action research. We also do reporting studies. So we may collect some important information, and we are all accustomed to this. Exit polls, opinion polls, and perception polls are very common nowadays. What are they? They are nothing but the reporting studies. We also do a research on descriptive studies, where a particular goods, how much is going to be the sale during festival time, so that the supply chain can be managed. So discover the answer to who, what, where, and when, and how. So sales trend during the fundamentals during the festival season is also a descriptive study, is also one of the type of research which is based on outcome. So in fact, we can classify the researches on variety of parameters. We can have explanatory research. You might have heard that no people, car sellers especially, rebrand their cars. So what is the impact of rebranding on customer loyalty? If that research is undertaken, this may be called as explanatory research. All of us are also accustomed to the data analytics job, which is being spoken by all engineering community and all business community these days, and that is nothing but a predictive research. The predictive research is basically an interrelationship between dependent and independent factors, and it is aimed at deciding the future. In fact, the entire machine learning research is aimed at the predictive kind of research. And if it is having a lot of data input, then we can use variety of statistical techniques which are required, and that way the predictive research has become very important and buzzword these days. So data analytics, machine learning, these kind of researches are known as predictive research, and this is also dependent on the outcome. There can be levels of crystallization can be thought. See, a good research can be done if you pose a right question. If you do not pose a right question, then the answers which we get may be misleading, or we may not get correct answers. So we can have exploratory research, or we can have formal research. So sometimes, many times we do exploratory kind of research. Sometimes we do a formal research. So one of the example has loose structure. Exploratory research has got a loose structure, and it is aimed at what are the future research tasks. So exploratory research basically opens up few more research questions and tells us about the alternative course of action. Whereas formal research begins with a defined research questions, and it has got a set processes, and it ends with an answer to a question. So PhD research can be classified into a formal research. It is designed to be in a strict format. Then it has got a peer review to be done. Maybe the papers which are coming out of the doctoral research are peer reviewed by outside people, or the progress of research is also peer reviewed by inside committee. It is analyzed by professors, teachers, and critics in the same area. So normally in university and colleges, we undertake this basically a formal research. We can also have a research defined on the basis of method of data collection. So monitoring studies are done, environmental monitoring, pollution monitoring, energy consumption monitoring. These are all observation of activities, maintaining the databases, either passively or actively. We also get ourselves engaged into monitoring activities. We also do interrogation or communication study. So interviews or telephonic communication, self-administered questionnaire-based instruments. All these things are also very common in research, and we also call them to be interrogation and communication studies. Many times we basically have to find out what are the variables which are going to undertake during the research. So researcher can do an experimental study, and this kind of studies are very common in science and technology kind of interventions, wherein we decide the variables and we identify how the variables are impacting the research. So researcher has got a full control on the variables. So these are called like experimental studies. These days experimental studies have come down. People may go in for say simulation, modeling, predictive type of researches have become very common because it is less costly. Sometimes we do ex post facto research, wherein we do not have any control over the variables. And post facto means we basically do a study after the impact has happened. So naturally we cannot have any control over the variables. Sometimes we go cross-sectional, sometimes we go longitudinal. Studies are repeated over the period of time. Sometimes we don't repeat the studies, and that those are known as cross-sectional studies. So this is based on the time domain of research being undertaken. Many times we do statistical studies and also we do case studies. Sometimes we do a field research. Civil engineers, pollution control researchers may undertake a field research. Marketing researchers may undertake field research. Science, basic science people may undertake a laboratory research. Many times we do the research aimed at collection of primary data, and many times we use the ready-made data available from other sources and try to analyze it, and that is research is known as a secondary research, which is on the basis of data collection. So I am just giving you opening remarks on where is a researcher supposed to engage himself or herself, and based on these kind of researches, your literature review is going to take a particular direction or so, your journal selection is going to take a particular direction or so, your project funding is also going to take the direct, is going to be dependent on this type of researches which you are undertaking, whether you are resulting into any IPR or not. If you are only analyzing the secondary data, you may not get any intellectual property, you may not develop any gadget, or you may not develop any technology, you may not develop any process. But however, if your aim is to collect primary data and there is no ready-made experimentation available, developing an experimental setup may lead to a innovation. So your further piece of research like publication, patent, projects are going to be dependent on the type of researches you are going to undertake. Sometimes we do take qualitative research, wherein and sometimes we take quantitative research. Normally, engineering people undertake quantitative researches, but not necessarily that quantitative researches will give you a correct result. Many times we have to undertake qualitative research, and qualitative plus quantitative may help us to find out the correct information. Basically, any research is aimed at finding the truth. If you cannot find out the truth through research, then that research is not complete. So whatever may be the methodology of research you take, whatever may be the instrument you use, whatever may be the costing involved in doing the research, it is not important. Important is to find out the truth. And that is the sole aim of doing a research basically. Now, if you look at how India has participated in developing the research, if you look at the data which is available from Web of Science and Clarivate analysis, this is 2024. In fact, minor changes have happened in this data in the year 25. We are basically representing the third largest number of researchers in the world. So where can India be said? India can be said as an excellent country where a number of people who are participating in the research activity is extremely large. If you look at the research publications which we are bringing out, we are number 4, wherein we can say that Indian people are very good in research publications. It may be the advantage of our own population that number of researchers are large, number of research publications which is coming out from the Indian environment is also large. However, if you look at citations obtained by publications, we are on the rank 9. So we were excellent in numbers, we were excellent or very good in publications. The rank has come down when it comes to citations. Are people citing our research? May not be. So we are number 9 on the rank. And number of citations, that is impact per publication. Are we really impacting the world with our publications? We are on the rank 30. That means Indian academia, Indian research community is not making a impact through its publications. What does it mean? Though we may be publishing large number of papers, though the number of people who are participating in the research process is very large, though our papers are cited, we are far away from the impact which we are making on the rest of the world, or rather, we may not be aiming at solving the real world problems which the world is facing. If you are trying to solve the real world problem, then the citation or impact of publications will definitely increase. So I am only talking of publication. Forget about the doctoral program. Our doctoral program is largely people driven, masses driven, quantity driven. Quality may be little away. But then, since there is no database of doctoral program available with us, we can't say much. Regarding IPR also, this IPR and project funding, or rather commercialization of patent, is a activity which is involving a lot of funding. There is a data available, but not in a very tangible format. Same is the case with projects. So publication is something which Indian academia looks at it very particularly. We normally say publish or perish. But then if you look at the impact of our publications, we are really lagging. What does it mean? It means that we have to really pull up our socks and do something which is not quantity per se, but quality per se, and we have to make the impact on the real world. If you look at the kind of researches we undertake, these slides give you rethinking originality. And this is given by none other than this Phillips and Poole. Say all of us are engineering teachers are involved in undergraduate teaching. And we undertake certain research activities, maybe during the final semester or final year of our graduate curriculum. It is aimed at reproductive or reproducibility approach. So we may fabricate something, we may build up some machines, we may build up certain tools which are hard tools. So that is a kind of research which we undertake during undergraduate level. I know many mechanical engineers have undertaken and developed lot of mechanisms and so on and so forth. Certain machines, certain jigs, certain tools, like so on and so forth. If you look at the master's level research, the master's level research is more analytical in nature. So we are going away from the skill-based research to a more knowledge-based research when we are going to a master's level project. So we simple originality, which may include reshaping material or considering information in other ways. So rather, the master's research, which is a full semester research, is aimed at applying the existing tools. Maybe we use computational dynamics, artificial neural network, maybe certain packages which are established nowadays in AI, etc., etc. So more analytical research we undertake during the master's. But when you go to a doctoral research, and I have not still talked to you about the postdoctoral and actual research, let us think about the doctoral research, which is a little more speculative in nature. A doctoral program is to make a researcher a philosopher and make a creative originality among the researchers. And many times doctoral research is a speculative research in nature. And that's where we try to give a 360-degree perspective to the research domain. So, a research is aimed at leading to the age of a knowledge. There is a lot of disturbance. Can you switch off the microphones? Those who are not participating, I'll give you opportunity to ask questions towards the end. Switch off the microphones, please. The research is a process of systematic inquiry, which involves collection of data, documentation of critical information, interpretation of data, establish facts, and make new conclusions. So that is how the research is. Now let us ask one fundamental question to all of us. At what stage research begins? How do you reach to the age of the knowledge? And it is normally said, research is first to know the known and then to know the unknown. So we may have to research in an unexplored area. Let us firstly know what is the known and then try to explore and find out the unknown. That is where the importance of literature review is there. Many times we say, have you done enough literature review? Why we do enough literature review? Because are we really knowing what research has been done in my domain? So, and we should take research literature review, because unless we know what has been done in a particular area, we may not be in a position to do and address certain unknown things. So if you look at this diagrammatic representation of the research, imagine a circle that has got human knowledge. By the time you are in the schooling, you know a little bit. By the time you finish high school, you may know a little more. With bachelor's degree, like physics, microbiology, economics, law, you know a little more. At master's degree, MSc, MS, LLM, MBA, MTech, we know a little more. We deepen our speciality. And as we try to explore the unexplored area, reading research papers becomes important, literature review becomes important, and we now go to the edge of the human knowledge, that is what is known to us. And then we try to push the boundary for a few years, and that pushing of the boundary may extend a boundary, and extension of boundary may help us to look at the world in a different fashion. So what is the aim of this diagrammatic representation? Is this diagrammatic representation is aimed at making you aware that you must know a bigger picture, and unless until you find out the truth, don't try or don't stop, keep pushing. This is also known as epistemological dimension of doing research. That means finding out the truth. So what is the message? The message is, unless you find out the truth, you should not stop. Now all of us are accustomed to read books during our school days. Maybe during school days also you are aimed at, or your basic method of data collection or basic method of knowledge, knowing the knowledge, is reading books. And the undergraduate teachers are involved in dissemination of the existing knowledge. But if you want to become a good researcher, you have to start reading good quality research papers. And the measure of reading good quality research papers is the measure which we follow in our university, and many universities follow the same standard, is through the Scopus and Web of Science indexed publications. Now, many times our researcher friends and academic friends ask us, how many papers should I read? A postgraduate student is supposed to read about 40 to 50 good research papers if at all he she wants to make a good research project out of his or own postgraduate dissertation. Otherwise, it's incomplete. For doctoral program, which I am heading, I have given a target of about 40-50 research papers to begin with to find out his her own problem. So that is a citation of publications in the proposal. But we can't write down a proposal unless we read about 200 research papers to formulate our research problem. And as we climb up the ladder, maybe about 300-350 papers are required when you are midway. And when you are completing the thesis per se, we expect that about 600 papers are read. Now, why such a numbers are required? Because unless we know what work has been done in our area, what tools people are using, and what is left for me to do, it will not be possible for any doctoral researcher to begin its journey. Up to postgraduate level, it's okay, 40-50 is okay, but for a doctoral research, 150 research papers reading is compulsory to make a proposal, to select a topic, and to make advancement in the topic by the level of mid stage. About 300 papers are expected, and a PhD researcher is supposed to read about 600 papers when she is making a defense presentation. Then the student has understood the entire philosophy of research in that particular domain, and the student becomes really a philosopher. So let me pose a question to you here. Research means finding or exploring more, more of less of more, or less of less. Answer to this question is more of less. That is B. So, in a research paradigm or in a research process, we concentrate on a small portion and try to find out more and more
जे
about
डीप मध्ये
that.
जायचं जे छोटं आहे त्याच्या जास्तीत जास्त.
Yeah. Can I continue? Can the microphone be off? Research is supposed to know the known and to know the unknown. In short, we can say that the entire research journey is add on a new knowledge towards to the earlier body of knowledge. We normally tell to our doctoral scholars in symbiosis that the moment, and this is a established definition of the doctoral program, that the day you are proving that you have added a new body of knowledge to the existing body of human knowledge, then you are a doctorate degree holder. But then it's not very easy to say that. You have to undertake a lot of more research methodological study of research methodological tools. You have to do surveys, you have to do experimentation, so on and so forth, to prove that you have added a new body of knowledge to the existing world. And how I can prove it? I can prove it through research publication, which is a very easy way of judging whether the new body of knowledge has been generated. Naturally, it can be just through the patents also, it can be just through the projects also. So patent, projects, publications, these are the research output terms. Publication is a very easy way out in the present era, and majority of our university researchers are involved in the publication process per se. So UGC has discontinued the publication requirement for PhD program, which is a very wrong thing. How do we prove that you have added a new body of knowledge? You may say that no, publication houses are taking too long time and they are costly affair. So what? If you want to undertake research and if you want to know, prove that you have added a new body of knowledge, there is no substitute for publication, patent, and projects. And the easier one is publication. If you look at the cone of science, we basically go by the phenomena of past knowledge. So we study something, we observe something. Then we have some inquiry. And that inquiry is in a very vague term. And that vague term inquiry is known as concept or construct. So whenever any researcher is taking up a research in an unknown area, he or she may formulate a research topic which is little vague in nature. That vague topic is known as construct. And when we try to crystallize it properly, a more vague topic gets converted into something what is known as a concept. Now, to make the construct into concept, what is required is you have to inquire critically, you have to think critically, or you have to think creatively. You may have to formulate hypotheses, you may have to find out models, you may have to study principles. This is where the methodological dimension will come into picture. Then you come to something which is known as theory, wherein we create a new body of knowledge. And if you just try to explore more and more, you advance the knowledge. You are keen to get more and more knowledge. You try to harness more and more knowledge, and you finally improve the lives of human beings. So the cone of science, which looks to be a bit complicated, can be simplified or can be understood better by two building blocks. One is method and one is use. But unless we have a prior knowledge of what has happened in my research area, it's very difficult to build up the basic principles. So past knowledge is very important. In fact, if you look at Sir Albert Einstein, who won the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1921, certain quotes are put here. Imagination is more important than knowledge. All of us during undergraduate, postgraduate, we think that knowledge is more important. But unless we imagine, unless we try to speculate, unless we try to apply the knowledge to unknown areas, the knowledge may not advance. And certain aligned quotes are also written here. If you read it more philosophically, you will understand that research is not something which we can confine in the labs or classrooms or journal papers or something. Genius is seeing what everyone else has seen and thinking about what no one else has thought. Now, this was the thought process your principal sir has given to begin with in the opening remarks. So, think of going to a level where people have not thought about it. If you look at the broad cycle of research, the broad cycle of research starts with some research problem at hand. Now, where do I get research problem from? That was also one of the key pointers which was told to me by the organizers. My talk is about finding out a research problem. See, nobody will give directly a topic for a research paper or a PhD work. You'll have to find out a research problem from the real world. And then we will have to put the research in action, and research in action will lead to a publication, or a intellectual property, basically if you develop. So I have written publication because publication is something which is very easy for an academician to grab. Now how do we find out a research problem? We find out a research problem from variety of sources. See, the world is facing a lot of problems, and these problems have been classified into something called as sustainable development goals. The world wants clean water, the world wants clean air, the world wants literacy, the world wants health, the world wants that in case somebody is not having organ, and organ donation is also one of the no, SDG goals. So there are 16 SDGs. Those 16 SDGs are basically driving you for doing a research. So there are enough problems the world is facing. So research problems can be taken directly linked to SDGs. And if you take a research problem which is fulfilling one of the basic SDGs, then not only you get a good funding for your research, but then you are known in the research circle because you have taken a problem which the world is directly facing. But it's not very easy to take the problem which is directly one among the SDGs. We may have to take up some subdomains, and a small research can be taken up by universities, colleges, research laboratories. A country may take up a problem which is addressing a bigger SDG, so on and so forth. We can also take up a research problem which a business is facing. So it is a fundamental research problem which or is it the problem faced by the society, or it is the problem faced by the business community. I can give you some examples here. Better financial technologies, better HR, better engineering techniques, isn't it? So this is where a business driven problem can be taken. The third technologies. We can develop technologies, we can develop materials, we can develop methods, so on and so forth. Somewhere you are developing a new technology, adding nanoparticles, using microparticles. Even the civil engineering people know use variety of materials for abatement of pollution, construction materials, so on and so forth. So development of technology, development of new methods, development of new materials, these are all called as technology driven problems. The next one can be a predictive research. We want to predict many things, future research. We want to predict futuristic things. What will be the electricity demand of Maharashtra in 2100? One of my PhD students has done a research on that. So, what way electricity requirement of Maharashtra is in 2100? What will be the demand of tires 50 years ahead of time? How many power plants will be required in 100 years from now? How much will be the power requirement because large amount of data centers are going to be in India? So those researches are known as predictive researches. And there can be fundamental research, Big Bang theory based research. Somebody has found out that there are protons, neutrons, electrons, nucleons, and so on and so forth. So fundamental research, how the world was created. So there are enough problems at our disposal, and not necessarily that we will take the problems right from the SDGs. We may overlap SDG on business requirements. We may overlap business requirements on the technology development. Technology development can have overlap on the predictive kind of job which we are taking. And there is always an overlap of research problem over each other. So this is the basic way through which we can identify a research problem. Then we have to put research in action. So when we are trying to put the research in action, whatever I have spoken in earlier slide, whether we are taking exploratory research, descriptive research, speculative research, fundamental research. So this applied research based on variables, variety of researches can be taken up, and I have given you enough idea what type of researches can be done by the research community. My request to you here is, once you have decided that I am going to do a research, under what category can be classified, please have a look at it. And finally, whether I am removing the bias in my research. If I am doing unbiased research, then I will get a good project funding, I will get a good publication, I will get something which is a new technology development, and so on and so forth. Publication is something which is very easy for all of us, so it will lead to good publication. But if you are doing a biased research, that means your problem identification is wrong, your methodological dimension to address the problem is wrong, then the publications which we are trying to get or the IP rights you are trying to get over your research output shall always be questioned, and it will be a peripheral activity per se. Now let me just dwell upon what kind of publications you can come across. You can, research output can be in terms of research papers, book chapter, proceeding papers. These are all most common. The next most common method is patent, design, copyright, geographical indication, trademarks, etc., etc. Then there can be projects which is funded by national or international agencies. You can develop technologies, processes, product. You can develop new methods. You can have intellectual property based on the processes which you are developing, technology which you are coming out, and methods which you are developing. If you look at the publication which normally our academic community looks at, these are the four quadrants or four important blocks, I would say. These basically are the publications prove that you are contributing to academic and scientific community, and that's why the knowledge is advancing. But many times the outside world is saying that now you are coming out with large amount of publication, but has the world benefited through your publications? Maybe, may not be. But publication is something which is a tangible output which our researching community in colleges and universities can do. Career and professional development is also possible through publication. Our universities, our colleges reputation goes up. We may get better students in our colleges, we may get better researchers in our colleges, and better the researcher, better the reputation. So it's a vicious cycle. Institution's reputation also goes up, and funding and grants also get benefited. So what I can request is, one of the tangible outputs of research which you are going to do is can be in terms of publication. And if you can climb other ladders like projects and patents, please do that. And avenues are plenty. If you look at number of journals which are available in the Scopus database, about 42,000. The number of journals which are available in Web of Science is about 25,000. If you look at the Australian Business Deans Council, which is prominently for management and social sciences, about 2,800 journals. If you look at the ABS, Association of Business Schools, about 1,000. And if you look at the league journals, which is basically aimed at the management topics, 50, FT50. So number of good quality journals which are available to us is about 50 to 65,000. So it's a big world where you get an opportunity to publish. However, this big world is not just big in terms of quality. There's a dark side to it also. We are having a lot of fake and predatory and substandard journals, and their number is very large. More than 1 lakh journals are there which are predatory in nature or fake in nature. And if you just sum up, about 2 lakh journals are available at our disposal if you make advancement of a knowledge. Definitely, the number may be 2 lakh. Keep away these 1 lakh journals. Even if you aim at these 50 to 65,000 journals which are available at our disposal to publish our knowledge, I think in a lifetime we can publish about not more than 35, 40 research publications which can attract citations, which can make impact on our career, which can really make impact on the world. And if you can be in the top FT50 if you are a management researcher, nothing like that. Otherwise, for scientific community, the database of Scopus Web of Science is too large. 25,000 journals are there in the Web of Science and 42,000 journals are there in the Scopus databases. So plenty of avenues are available at our disposal. However, if you have got a good solution to the problem which the world is facing, and if you have solved it through your research unbiasedly, then publication doesn't become a problem. Attracting funding doesn't become a problem. However, if your research is biased, then the number of journals, avenues may be large, but we may be away from all these things. Let me also tell you wherein you should give priorities. When it comes to publication, I'm just touching this because these are the independent topics which are being taken up by the subsequent researchers in this FDP. If you look at the priorities, the lowest priority is to the conference publications, conference presentations. Little more is to the extended abstract or abstract book of conference, proceeding of papers, procedure journals, then books, research chapters, special issues, peer-reviewed publications. So this, in a nutshell, gives you, if you get a paper in a peer-reviewed scientific journals which is listed in Science, Science Citation Index, Social Science Citation Index, Web of Science Index, these indexing bodies and good journal houses are having large number of publications in these indexing bodies. The journal names are also given, Elsevier, Springer, Emerald, this, that. So if you can get it, give a top priority to them. Don't give much priority to, but you can give priority to the special issues of the journals which are there in Scopus and other index journal. Lesser priority should be given to research chapters and books, though there are publishing houses which are participating in this book and book chapters. Let us give less priority to it and a lower priority to the procedure, proceeding paper, proceedings, extended abstracts and conference presentation. So this priority matrix is a very useful for those who are participating in these FDPs. If you look at the quality quadrant of journals, I am concentrating more on journals because our academic community is involved in publications largely. If you look at the first quadrant, wherein there is a high quality and open access paid journals, this can be a good quadrant. First quadrant can be a good quadrant. However, you need to have good funds at your disposal if you want to publish in high quality and open access. This model is taking up like anything. The earlier quadrant was second quadrant, wherein the journal houses were high quality, but they were not non-open access. So they were not charging any fees for publishing. So they have become more important and you can prefer this category because India being a developing country or rather a poor country, all colleges, universities may not have sufficient funds to participate into high quality and open access movement. So high quality but non-open access movement, the second quadrant may be useful. Then the third and fourth quadrant, which is below, has to be strictly avoided. Low quality and non-open access, this is to be strictly avoided. Low quality and open access is to be strictly avoided. So this quality quadrant of a journal is very useful for the researchers, and that's how I have put it in the fundamental of research and way forward. Naturally, where should I publish? I should publish in Elsevier, Scopus databases or Web of Science databases, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So you can publish in Q1 and Q2, leave aside this Q3 and Q4. And depending upon in which area you are working, you can go to this Australian Business Database, ABDC or ABS category or FT50 categories. But what is suggested is, if at all you are a researcher, you must publish only in the peer-reviewed journals. If you look at the overall research process, which is also one of the things which I want to tell you, is firstly you must formulate a research problem. And where do you take a research problem from? The SDGs are there to guide us with that. The businesses are facing enough problems, you can take up that. Fundamental problems are there in the world which can be taken up. Technology advancement problems can be taken up, so on and so forth. But what is important step to the research is you must take up a good literature review, which is nothing but a secondary data for making advancement of your research. Then you should formulate a good research question so that you develop a good hypothesis. Then you might have to formulate a good research design, methodological dimension. See which comes first, methodology or method. Methodology will come first because it is a bigger dimension of doing a research. Method will come later, data collection will come later, data analysis will come later. So execution of plan. So fourth step is to plan your research. Fifth step is to execute your research. Maybe you collect the data by primary, doing experimentation, doing simulation. Maybe you collect the data through surveys. Then you find out certain results and finding by applying certain methodological data analysis tools to it. Compare it with your hypothesis. Discuss and interpret results. Then put it in a manuscript format. Communicate them to a journal and get published and get your research validated. And in case there are certain lacuna in your entire process of doing research, this can be modified at every stage. So if you follow these 10, 11 stages of research process, you will be a good researcher. Let me tell you something about the literature review process then, because I am touching base upon all the fundamentals of this FDP. So literature survey starts with a question: why should I do a literature survey? It is necessary to know whether it has been studied or not. It will also give an answer to why it should be studied, and it will also help you to formulate the objective to some extent. So if you look at the left hand side, where why, what, where, when, and how, if you try to find out answers to that, why it has been studied, what has been studied, where it has been studied, when it has been studied, and how it has been studied. If you try to find out the answers to that, then your literature survey dimension becomes little more perfect. What should be studied, why it should be studied, what should be studied, where it should be studied, when it should be studied, and how it should be studied. If you try to look at this, will also give us certain answers. The first line will give you objectives, the second line will give you the variables, the third line will give you the scope, fourth line will give you the temporal scope, and the final thing will give you the objectives. If you try to do all these things, it will lead to a research gap, and the research gap will definitely answer something wherein you will find out why my research is required. And if you find out the answer that my research may not be required by the real world, then you have to redo the entire literature survey process unless you get answer to a research gap, why my research is required. Many times we find out that the researchers, even post doctoral researchers, don't look at the literature survey process very critically. They don't think very critically, and they end up in doing something which may be consuming a lot of time. It is a futile exercise. Forget about postgraduate and graduate student; they will not even understand all this philosophical dimension of the literature survey. If you look at the research process, you should have some prior knowledge. That's how the testing of doctoral students is done, whether they know prior knowledge, have a prior knowledge of research methodology, etc., etc. Maybe as you advance, do you know peer-reviewed journals? Can you really identify identifiable and dependable source of knowledge? That is very important step of a research process. This we call it to be building blocks of research. Then we have to find out the gaps. Some propositions are proven. So whenever we try to do research, some researchers' propositions are proven. Maybe they are disproven at later stages. Systematic investigation repeated for confirmation. Though we know we have to do systematic investigation so that we confirm our approaches, we find it out our gaps, we make studies in the particular gaps, then we try to look at our findings critically, and the process continues. So identification of research gaps is a very important building block of doing research. I have told you the importance of literature survey in the earlier diagram. However, many times our researching community looks at only the abstracts which are published or synopses which are published. We should look at the full text papers, and peer-reviewed journals should be our concern. You can read abstracts for understanding the relevance of papers. Otherwise, it's very difficult to read out full-length papers. That's how the number of research papers which you are supposed to read becomes very important. Research papers are to be read curiously, and many times we read the research paper with the aim of remembering it. No, we can't remember the research paper. But what a researcher can do through the literature survey and reading research paper is we can condition our mindset to the entire research process. So making the summary etc. is helpful. We have to answer, and we have to make a way for good research questions. More the questions, better the answers, and better the methodology can be formulated. So this also becomes a building blocks. These theoretical, empirical research processes I have told you. You have to have a good mentor for doing research, because mentor is required. Doctoral students have a good mentor, a good professor who becomes a guide for that. Even a postdoctoral researcher requires a good mentor, and you become a mentor from a mentee. So to begin with, your mentor may participate with you for a larger amount of time, but as you become an advanced researcher, the mentor will participate less and make you independent researcher. So you become mentor in times to come. And in the entire processes, the mentor's job is to ensure that there is no bias in doing the research. Meeting the mentor, meeting the professor, guide is very important. Many times we face a problem that the mentee doesn't meet the mentor, and mentor is at a higher level of understanding, and this is where the problem starts. So maybe I, as a program in charge in doctoral program, admit 100 students per year. Only about 20-25 people get a doctoral degree after 4-5 years. The rest of the 70-80 people drop out in the process, because the mentee doesn't understand the importance of mentor, and the mentor has to do a job of mentoring the mentee. let me tell you one strategy I am now aiming toward the end of my presentation. Quartile 1 comes as a top quality research publication. Quartile 2 is about 25 to 50%. So top 25% of the journal papers in your research area. So if you are an environmental researcher, you are competing with only the environmental researchers. No, you are not competing with any other researcher. That is the beauty of the quartile process. So top 25% of the journals in your quartile are known as Q1. Next quartile is known as Q2. Next quartile is known as Q3. And next quartile, the bottom pyramid of the quartile is known as Q4. So where you should publish? If at all you have done a good research, you should publish in Q1 and Q2. If not Q2, Q3, and we don't suggest Q4. This is a strategy we tell it to our scholars. If the journal is included in both Scopus and Web of Science, it's an excellent strategy. If it is in Scopus and if it is not in Scopus but in Web of Science, it's a very good strategy. If it is in Scopus and not in Web of Science, it's a good strategy. And if your research paper you want to put it in a Scopus, it's not listed in Scopus, neither in Web of Science, it is a worst strategy. So with this, I conclude my talk. In fact, I have tried to introduce and touch base upon the entire research process per se. And my keynote or I think opening address is aimed at setting a right tone for this FDP. I know there are speakers which are lined up. They will be talking more about each and every type which I have spoken over here. I can just browse through what are the topics given to me and what were the areas. So I have touched base upon the fundamentals of research. Maybe Dr. Mansoor Ahmed sir will be speaking about flow of paper. Dr. Jain sir will talk about journal selection. Then peer review process will be addressed by someone. Granting will be addressed by someone. Proposal writing will be addressed by someone. These are all independent topics in itself. And the nitty-gritties of IPs, nitty-gritties of plagiarism, nitty-gritties of matrices and collaboration, all these will be taken by the stalwarts in this particular area. To begin with, as a opening remarks speaker, I have given you an overview of the entire research process. Thank you, Sheikh sir. We can take a few questions maybe for next 15 minutes or so.
Thank you, sir. There is one question from Vikas Kumar. He is asking that, am I able to change my PhD topic to my, MTech topic to my PhD thesis or studies?
See, this is a common question which is asked. See, MTech topic is basically aimed at applying new tools to the existing problems. See, when you take an undergraduate project, हम लोग थोड़ा ठोक पीट करके कुछ नई मशीन बनाते, नया टूल बनाते, कुछ attachment बनाते. If you are a mechanical engineer, if you are a civil engineer, you may make bridges in by new dimensions and new material. So we apply existing body of knowledge. It is a skill-based project. MTech is a knowledge-based project, and doctoral project is a speculation-based project. So as long as you can speculate certain new things in your PhD program, a MTech project can be converted into a PhD project, but normally it doesn't work in that fashion. And if you are thinking so, after listening to my talk about fundamentals of research and building blocks and the epistemological dimension of doing research, please read out whatever I have spoken for these last 1.5 years once again. Normally, MTech project converted into a PhD project is a difficult job. Unless until you have aimed at making a PhD part of your PhD project as your MTech project. Yeah, we can take up any other question.
Sir, next question is from again Vikas Kumar. Please specify the desired year range for the read literature review in research journal paper.
No, I didn't understand. It was not very clear to me. Please, can you read out once again?
Sir, he's saying, please specify the desired year range for read the literature review in research journal paper.
See, I
I
could not
think
still
he's what.
understand the question, but then I can tell you broadly. If you are an engineering researcher, don't read any publication which is older than 5 years old. So right now we are in 25 year, touching 2026. You should read the last publications which have come up in last 5 years. Too old papers need not be read unless they are very, very classical in nature.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
You said that we can use primary or secondary data. So, how to decide whether the given data is accurate or not?
No, that is basically
Sometimes
the
we take
fundamental
up the
building
data.
blocks of research is aimed at that. No, see,
Okay.
I'll tell you one example here. One of the researcher has taken up a speculative research in doctoral program, and this machine learning, etc., has become very prominent these days. They say we'll try to speculate when our Pune roads are going to be broken. Rather, Pune outside municipality Pune, how the roads are there and when they are going to be, let us say, deteriorating. So now it will require, if you want to speculate how much is the life of the road and how much maintenance it requires, naturally will require a database which is a past database. Now somebody has to take up a job of developing a database, isn't it? So developing a database. Now, many times people take some secondary data available here and there. So the researcher has taken up how is the prediction of US based roads is done. Now, based on the database of US roads, can we really predict Indian roads? So this is where the importance of primary and secondary data will come into picture. We can't be dependent only on the secondary data unless the conditions in which the entire system is working is, I would say, analogous to each other, or rather uniform with each other. So you may compare the databases of those countries which are like India. So maybe a database of developing country like India is available with you. But then what is the likely chance that a database of developing countries is ready-made available? Very unlikely.
Yes,
So
sir, yes, sir.
developed countries are developed and they have got many, their systems are very, very well advanced. Developing countries have their own problems. So my gut feeling, Dr. Kuram sir, is that it is very difficult to find out the answer through only secondary databases or secondary research. Unless until you do a primary data collection job in laboratories, in a simulated condition, it's very difficult to remove the bias in research. And I am very much convinced about it. There are certain dimensions like economic surveys. You can't reach out to many people in our country. So we try to predict the futuristic conditions based on the past data. And even if you want to collect primary data from people, we cannot reach out to so many population in our country. So we are having no other option. अभी देखो एग्जिट पोल वाले प्रेडिक्ट करते हैं, ओपिनियन पोल, एग्जिट पोल, वो सेकेंडरी डेटा से चलते हैं और हमेशा उनके पोल गलत आते हैं.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So this is we can understand all these things when we try to execute it ourselves. For me, it's very easy to say all these things, but for a research, it's very difficult to execute a research dimension, which are speculated in my 50-55 slides. They are very fundamental in nature, basically.
Okay. Sir, one more question is there from Yojana Padali. If I want to make a model by giving data which is published earlier for predictive modeling, in that case, how can I decide the year range for literature review? I think that's what the question is.
In fact, my suggestion is those who are taking up the literature review topics, they will be the right person to answer it. See, why do we do literature review? Because we want to know what has been studied in a particular domain and what is left for us to do. So I'll give one example to the gentleman, lady, or the participant who is participating in the process. Let us say I am predicting electricity of Maharashtra. I wish to give sustainable electricity solution of Maharashtra in 2100. I have to basically do some brain work before you take up the topic. The brain work which I will be taking up for doing literature review is what is the condition today? What is the electricity situation today? So, okay, how many researchers have studied Maharashtra's electricity situation today, or maybe in past 2-3 years, 5 years? So this is something which is the literature. Then how have they predicted the growth rate? Can be one dimension. And then what is the technonomic analysis of futuristic situation? That can be the third dimension. So we'll have to do a lot of brain work before we decide the literature review. Normally, what we have found out is early researchers, they simply read the paper and make summary of the paper. They never try to synthesize the paper. So the moment you synthesize the paper, you can make out certain things out of it. If you don't synthesize your literature review, then you will be simply having a lot of narration of research papers in your notebook. You will not be in a position to draw any meaningful conclusion out of your researcher. I think to some extent I have answered the queries of the participant.
Yes, sir. If any other participant has any question, he or she can directly ask here.
You can make a microphone on and ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, may I ask one question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Sir, so my experiment, I mean, my PhD topic is experimental based. I am doing research on concrete. So right now I am conducting experimental trials in a laboratory. So in good faith, the laboratory is ready to give me some of their results to me. So if they give me the results, then can I use those in my paper or in my research?
I'm not getting your question. What question you are having here then? Lab is generating some results for you, na? Where is the question or what is the exact question?
So actually I'm conducting compressive strength tests on concrete right now. And the material mix that I am using, for that I am getting my values. But the lab already has some results from past which have in different mixed proportions. So if they are ready to give me those results, then do I need to conduct my own research, own experiments on that, or I can use those values directly?
See, the topic which Dr. Irshad sir has given to me was fundamentals of research and setting the tone for doing research. So I have set the tone for doing research. So I'll answer your question a little more philosophically. If the answer which you are trying to get through the research is not biased, you can use the results, but unbiased. Huh? And if you are getting biased answers to the final outcome, then if you are simply trying to use the results from the past data, then it will be a futile efforts. I'll tell you one example which may not be from civil engineering, but in general engineering. See, one of my students use for liquid gas flow measurement rotameter. We are all accustomed to, we are all studied fluid mechanics. I hope majority of the participants are engineering people here. Maybe civil engineering people are more in number. If you use a rotameter is a meter which is used for liquid flow measurement. For gas flow measurement, what is to be used is known as anemometer. Now, if I try to put the results which are used by rotameter and the fluid which is supposed to be measured is a gas, my instrumentation itself is wrong. Na? So it will have a bias in the results. And biased results will never give you a correct picture forward. That's what my topic was. My topic was, or the opening remarks which I given in my keynote address is, whatever research you want to undertake, ensure that it gives you epistemologically correct answers. It should give you nearly true answers. If your laboratory results are ready to give you nearly true answers, please go ahead and use of it. And if it is not giving you true answers to the inquiry which you are making through your research, then there is no need of, or there is no use of using it. It will be a shortcut.
Yeah, are there any more questions? I hope we are short of time now. I'll request Dr. Ishad Sheikh sir to take over the session.
Thank you, Param. So today we have with us Dr. Sanjay Poekar sir, who is a research of research programs at Symbiosis International University, Pune. And sir has given session related to classification of research and what are the objectives of data selection. Then circle of knowledge he has explained. Then he has explained a number of papers that a researcher or a PG and PhD students should read. Then he has also explained the cone of science. Then the three components of the research cycle, research output measurements, and what are the predatory journals. And today only I came to know that more than 1 lakh journals are predatory journals. Then he has also explained the priorities of publications, where should we publish, then the quality of quadrants, and where should we publish a particular paper, then the steps in research, what are the different steps, and research progress also he has explained. So I would like to thank Dr. Sanjay Poekar sir for his valuable contribution and valuable time he has spared for all the participants. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Irshad sir, let me thank you for giving opportunity. What I have done in my talk was to give you touch base of each and every talk which you are going to take up in future. So if you want to ask questions on funding, please ask to Dr. Bhojwani sir. And there are elite speakers which are going to speak to you all participants in times to come. They are the specialists. I can also give an elaborate talk on each and every topic which you is given by Dr. Richard sir in the FDP. But then I think my talk was more appropriate to set the tone of this FDP. So I have touched based upon each and every aspect. Let each specialist answer the queries you have got. Have a good time and thank you, Dr. Irshad sir, Dr. Kurram sir, and Dr. Hinge sir for giving me opportunity. I have enjoyed the session with you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
We have also enjoyed the session, sir. And I have attended so many sessions, but your session was too good, and each and every slide was
sharing the
adding
slide set
knowledge
with
to the
Dr. Richard as
participants.
well.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
I'll request the participant that we will be sharing the feedback form link in the WhatsApp group. So please fill up the form, and I want to inform everyone that the attendance in the meeting for the sessions is mandatory to obtain a certificate in all the 10 sessions. Okay. So we are at the closing of this session.
Thank you very much. Shall I disconnect now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, I am also thankful to Dr. Bagde sir for introducing to the elite community at TSSM and in BBCR. Pleasure meeting you all, sir.
We will be starting the next session in the same meeting with the same meeting link from 2 p.m. So I request all to join in time. We will be starting by 2 p.m. Yes, you can. All the participants can disconnect. You can rejoin by 2 p.m. We'll be sharing the feedback link on the WhatsApp group. Please fill the feedback form.